Mặc dù gia chủ đang bối rối, nhưng
Nói nghe nè, người phụ nữ giỏi việc nhà, nấu ăn ngon, chăm trẻ.
Are you surfing on TikTok right now? Have you ever wondered why it has become so popular? In today's case study, we're going to explore how TikTok succeeded in their user experience and product development. For the outline of today's speaking, we're going to have three parts. The first one, we're going to talk about context. The second one is about design thinking stages of TikTok. And the last one, we're going to talk about the results today. Okay, so first, we're going to look at why did Musical.ly fail. So as you know, TikTok wasn't born a superstar as it is today. Instead, its predecessor, Musical.ly, had periods of struggle to stay afloat in the Chinese domestic market, mainly due to its wrong target customer segment. The idea of building a community for Chinese teenagers to lip sync to music and bond with each other didn't take off, as those teenagers were always busy with schoolwork and extra classes. Later, Musical.ly was purchased by ByteDance, which merged it into TikTok and released onto the international market. So for the accept stage, when developing TikTok, ByteDance had the advantage of knowing the insight that customers love short videos, which should be entertaining and consistent in their content. What they had little or no control over were the range of technical skills of users, meaning that many users may be adaptive to new technologies, while many others may not. Also, TikTok cannot fully regulate and verify the contents the users create or watch on the platform, meaning that harmful contents may be distributed without timely prevention. At the time TikTok was developed and released, it had to bear in mind some constraints, especially the wide range of available social media such as Facebook and Instagram, which put it under the pressure of trying to stand out from those platforms to attract customers. One other thing is that user engagement level would be affected by the types of technologies customers owned, such as their phones, operation system versions, etc. That's why TikTok needed to be friendly and compatible to many types of phones and software so that many customers would access and use it easily.
Now come to the understand part. The motivation is that how can TikTok ease the user's way of approaching and keep them engaged as long as possible? To that end, we use 5W and 8 to identify and solve the problem. For the what part, we identify that customers experiencing difficulties when learning how to use an app. Also, the video's content is boring and does not fit the customer's taste. But why? The users don't want to spend a long time learning how to use an app. Most users are not high-tech and not adapted to new tech as well. Besides, there are a lot of existing apps like Facebook, Instagram. One more reason is that videos features are undiversified content. And last but not least, because of limited editing tools and not personalized contents, all of those things lead to consequence that the users have to take a long time to be familiar with the app. As a result, the users will leave the app at the end. For the when part, when user engaging in social media time at anywhere like at home, workplace, outdoor, and for all age groups, especially for low-tech and busy people. And for the H1, how? Creating an accessible, comfortable, informative, and entertaining social media experience.
When it comes to observation, TikTok is known to give a lot of attention to the user customer in order to design a user-centric app that makes sure the user have the best experience. They say that the customer likes things to be easy, which means that the functions need to be easy to follow and use. And moreover, the app needs to be compatible to many operating systems that the user may have. When it comes to the customer, TikTok noticed that the customer will be more engaged if the content are personalized. They're also more likely to accept the app if it is optimized and unobstructed to their content. And finally, they will appreciate more if the app can be easily accessible and localized. In the defined point of view, we can see that from the product point of view, the app needs to be make it easy to use so that the customer can engage in it after their first try. It also needs to provide a clear instruction about feature and accessible interface. And finally, the content needs to be customized based on a specific customer's taste. By using the How May tool, we were able to reach a problem statement is how may TikTok create the user stickiness to their app, taking into account the user content, taste, and technical skill.
So now we already have the constraint, what we don't have, what we have, and the problem. So for the ideation, TikTok first focus on the target audience is the general user. Specifically, they focus on a appealing user interface. So while scrolling TikTok, the users experience the continuous flow of succinct and customized video content. The average duration of a TikTok video is 15 seconds, but this number tends to decrease recently. So when users receive a continuous flow and concise flow of information, the stimulation of continuous release of dopamine start. Once the brain gets used to the nerve release, it learns to anticipate and reward the body for being exposed to that release, and it is also known as the dopamine loop. For the content creator, TikTok developed the sharing and collaboration part. First, the shortcut are clear and direct. In other words, what you see is what you tap. If a user wants to view or use sound from another video, they can simply tap the title of the sound. It leads to the incredibly easy for users to discover one another, collaborate, and co-create content. And besides, videos can easily be saved with a creator watermark. And it appreciate better acquisition rates and better visibility for creators. Another part is the creative freedom. Creators have access to a huge library of video editing tools, digital learning tools, and easy-to-use creative effects. It stimulates the creative storytelling skill of the creators. And this library is also can be used by anyone and anywhere. For us, the content receiver, TikTok has a very interesting algorithm that personalizes and champion discoverability. They have this unique For You page that is tailored to each one preferences. The algorithm continuously picks up on user behaviors, their time sharing activity, hashtags, keywords, and sound. So this personalized data creating an engaging and customized digital space for all. And for creator and businesses, they also have easier time getting discovered and customer that may love their content through the live session, short video, or advertisement. And for the advertisement, an indispensable part of every social media. For the matching format, every advertisement have the same aspect ratio, same positioning of the main UI elements, and the same interactive layout. Besides that, the way user close the ads is very interesting by swiping up like they would on regular posts. So it leads to less of a disruption compared to another opponents. And for the accessibility and localized content, TikTok have auto caption, text to speak, and photo sensitivity features that allow users with disabilities to enjoy more content. And it also improve our experience who have the able body as well. For the localization, TikTok is available in 154 countries and 75 languages. The app also tailor tools, features, and trends to local audiences.
So in the prototype part, I would say that TikTok is different from other competitors. Why is that? Because instead of waiting until the app was flawless, TikTok released the first iteration before starting to quickly change it and respond to user input. So this strategy guarantees that TikTok can analyze a feature's functionality rapidly, and if required, make improvements right away. So because of that, TikTok achieves high levels of engagement and client happiness by releasing new features very promptly. And as you can see on the slide, there are a few examples of TikTok updates during the course of its operation. For example, in September 2016, it released the very first version as a music short form video community. Another update is is on November 16. version 1.2. It updates the UX UI on multiple pages, as well as the music libraries, optimizing audio and visual resolution. Another update is on March 2017. There is a new function. It released the sticky tools, as well as there is the new UI on message page. And it's also faster in the loading process when using the app as well. And so now you may be wondering, with these outstanding characteristics, what are TikTok's current results? Is this a huge success? I would personally say yes, because as you can see, there are about 800 million active users by this time. And there are about 52 minutes spent daily on average per user in the app TikTok. On another slide, we have the two graphs demonstrating this kind of results. So on the left, the first chart, so within over 2 years, the number of users of TikTok has grown significantly from below 100 million users to up to about 700 million users in August 2020. And the second graph on the right demonstrates the average monthly hours spent per user of not just TikTok, but also in comparison with other apps. So as you can see, within 3 years, TikTok has surpassed the very famous app of Facebook and Instagram to be the app with the highest monthly hours spent per user. So with about 27.7 hours per month. And this is also the final part of our presentation, and concluding our presentation today. So thank you very much for listening to us. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us.